So here we are, we've made it to the beginning of this race, race 2, 25th on the grid, pretty much dead last. We've got nothing to lose here, right? With no points on the first race. All we're hoping to do now, just enjoy this race, but you know, get through the field as best we can, try and get a good lap in if we ever get the opportunity, try not to fall off, try not to get tangled with anyone, and then hopefully if we get really lucky, this will set us up for the last race of the day and the weekend, which is after this race. So we've had a clean start, not the best getaway, you know, it's quite hard getting this Ducati off the line, but we got it off the line and we've done well. We've already overtaken quite a few people. I think we're going to have 9 passes on this lap, although admittedly Richie Thornton, poor old Richie, got taken out by Peter Baker turn 1 against all the odds. Richie's had such a tough season, he's had so many problems and it's been caught up in stuff. He's just had one of those seasons and he's done really well to keep his head down and keep going. And here we are, we're coming around, this is the end of the lap. This is also the first time we're really riding this bike with the new gearing change we've made, so we'll find out if we've made any other change of feel in the bike, because it's now got a shorter wheelbase. And so you're learning the bike, and don't forget we're also running a completely new front tyre, which we've got on halfway through practice, so we're not fully up to speed with that and the feel of it. We're getting there. But what we're going to find later in this race is in a couple of corners, especially this right-hander here, which I'm pretty good at, and that I'm alright, I'm not going too quick through it there, but I'm going to start getting a bit of chatter, and then I'm going to be backing off a little bit because of I don't want to fall off. And that's just learning the forks and the settings, and afterwards I'm thinking I've basically got too much rebound on the fork, which doesn't allow the suspension, when the bike compresses the suspension over a bump, it doesn't allow the suspension to extend quickly enough to go down on the tarmac after the bump, so the front starts skipping in my instance here. So that's going to hold us back unfortunately this weekend, but at least we know what it is. And the reality of this year is it's a learning season. I'm really learning this Panigale, and I'm just trying to get used to it and just trying to find good base settings, so next season when we go to a circuit we can start off with those settings and progress from there. And so here we are. I think we're lap 2. It's about a 14 lap race. We're behind Mav Platt. Obviously everyone's been racing all year now, so everyone's up to good speed. Everyone's used to their bikes. There's Anthony in front of us, he's going well on that. I say everyone's used to their bikes. Mav Platt, we've just passed, he's just got on that ZX10 maybe a month ago, and up ahead of us Anthony's just got on that ZX10. So people are still chopping and changing, and they're trying to, you know, get to grips with their bikes and you know, get theirs all ready for next season as well potentially. So everyone's in the same boat, I guess. And also this bit that you can see in the clouds, we hadn't had heavy rain all weekend. I went out and warmed up in the morning and it was damp, so we went out in the wet, and then the first few races were wet, and you know, we were race 8 of the day, and I spoke to somebody after race 4 and they went out on slicks and came straight back in. They said it's too wet at the top of the track. So around the top of the track, how fast Anthony is on this ZX10, I didn't pull anything into him on the straight. Didn't do too bad on the brakes though. The track was still damp around the top, and you know, I wasn't fully committing, especially as the front wasn't feeling particularly mega on the bike. Whereas a Brands GP, the front was feeling mega. So you know, it's been tricky transitions, and we're getting there, we're going in the right direction there. So we made another pass there, a couple guys in front of us. We're just going to keep our head down. And Donington Park is a funny circuit because it's not necessarily physical, but as you can see, it's reasonable undulations, it's fast, and I was definitely puffing quite quickly into this race, but I was enjoying it. You know, we got everybody's riding at a good standard. Getting past people's hard, and that makes it more rewarding when you do. And it was a really good race, as you see. We'll hopefully get past these guys, maybe down this straight. We've got a slightly better drive, have we? Yeah, we've got a good drive there, so we should hopefully get this guy. Although the ZX10s, they're quick, you know, there's not the big performance differential you'd expect or hope for on you know, a new V4 versus the I don't know what year those ZX10s are actually, but you know, a lot of these liter bikes, they're all around the same power realistically if you chuck them on the dyno on the same day. Some of them shout about having more power than others, but they're all a bit restricted by tyres as well. So when you get out of the corner, you know, who was it, David Krajewski or Krajewski? I can't know how to pronounce his surname. He said my bike's just leaving black lines everywhere. It is just spinning up. It just doesn't. The tyre can't grip enough, so you can't get the drive out of the corner. Obviously you can set the bike up different ways, maybe give it a bit more grip at the rear, but then you lose out on the front or turning, you know, it's all a compromise. But we seem to have got into a bit of clear air now, and we're going to just, when you're in this sort of situation, you've got clear track, because I'm coming through the pack a bit and I can see a rider, that really helps motivate you. So then you're like, now it's going to take, obviously it's going to be harder to make passes, because every time you pass somebody you're getting up to quicker riders. So that is David Krajewski, whatever, up in front of us. So we're going to try and get into him. When we get to him, we're actually going to have a really good battle, because unbeknownst to me at this point, I think it's a guy called Montgomery I passed earlier in the race in a black GS6R. I think he's come with me, so I don't know, but he's right behind me, and he's going to give me, he's going to rough me up a little bit, and then he's going to go for David, and I'm going to try and get that pass. So we have a good battle at the end of this race, when we're all battling for, I think it's 8th, 9th and 10th, so the last 3 positions in the top 10. Here you go, there's David ahead of us. And you think as well, when you're like catching a rider like this, you think, cool, I'll get to him and I'll get past and I'll move off. But you see at all levels of racing, you'll see somebody, like let's say MotoGP, somebody will come through the pack and they'll catch up. Look at Enea Bastianini and Pecco Bagnaia last week in a Mugello. So Bastianini has come up to the back of him, right? He's pulled him in. You know, he got past Maverick Vinales, didn't he? And then pulled up to Bagnaia. So you've got to think he's the faster rider. But you know, I don't want to spoil it for anyone, but Pecco won that race, and Enea couldn't get past him. So it's a funny old sport. As you can see now, we are definitely pulling David in. David also, I think, is it this race or no? I think maybe in next race he has some entertaining interactions with Peter Baker. I don't think he got run off the track, but he wasn't very happy afterwards. But less said about that the better, I guess. But here we are, getting through here. The R1's real strength is their drive out of the corner, and you look at that, and he is up the road. I'm not pulling him in down the straight. You see a little bit of front end chatter there. That's what I was talking about earlier, where basically the suspension isn't riding the bumps perfectly, and then that's going to really, or it does. You see that there, just bumpy. That's that chatter. If you watch the brake master cylinder, also the brake reservoir on the right, you see the fluid really pumping around. That's when it's just not riding smoothly there, it's doing it a bit. So hopefully we'll dial that out on the old suspension. So here we are really having a good look at David now. Now what you're going to do is trying to see where he's strong, where he's weak. Where he's strong, you're going to try and improve your area there and be strong. But you know, fair play to David, you can't knock him. He's riding really well. But we're up behind him now. I'm going to try and get around him. I'm going to try and get on the throttle early so I can drive past him on the straight. Whack, I've caught the edge of the track. there's a little lip there, it's giving me a head shake. I've had to back out of the throttle, and as I said, here's Montgomery, and the GS6Rs are grunty, they drive so well, and he's literally just driven around the outside of me, and he is braking, I'm braking, he's gone for it on the brakes, and look at him now, he's got a bit of a move on the bike there, and I'm like, oh, where's he going to go? And that was a pretty exciting time. He made a good overtake there, to be fair, can't knock him. I've lost quite a bit of time because we were both trying to brake a bit later, pushing each other, and you see how David's benefited from that. But now, I mean, we've both gone together, Montgomery and me, up to David, so we're going to hope that we're going to get past him, and I'm going to hope I'm going to get past Montgomery, aren't I? So this is now quite an exciting three-way battle for the last 3 places in the top 10. And it's just fun, right? You know, we're just thinking about this race, we're not thinking about the championship or anything like that, nothing to worry about. There's this top bit of the track which was sketchy, but now you're not worrying about it so much, and the bike's drifting around there, and he has gone around the outside of David. I think these guys are having a good battle. He's done the same to David, different part of the track, but he's gone around the outside of David there, strong on the brakes then from Montgomery, and then now this is what we wanted to do last time. We've got good drive onto the straight. Look, we've held David down there, pulled him in a bit, and I'm just going to come underneath him on the brakes, and we're kind of where we were a lap ago, one rider in front of us that we want to get past. So I don't know how many laps we've got left, maybe 3 laps left of this 14 lapper, and you know, our pace has dropped off, but we're battling away, and the battle's where the fun's at, isn't it? Here's a little bit of the judder on the front there. I seem to be quick up this next section, just get on the throttle. I mean, he's pulled me there, to be fair, but am I going to put him back in a bit? Maybe, yeah, I'd say I pulled him back in a little bit there. We'll see on the exit of this corner whether we are close to him. Yeah, so we have up there, either on the brakes or on the drive, we've managed to pull Montgomery back in, and we are going to try and get past this guy. Actually, it's racing, it's mega, so there's no slower riders around. Look at the drive he gets out there. Those Suzukis are so grunty. They've got that vari cam or something in the engine, so that gives them more grunt low down in the revs. That's why they still do really well at BSB, because things like the Honda all top end, and the Suzuki gets a mega drive. But we've actually got mega drive here. Now we're going to get him. Yes, we've come back past him where he got back past us. Close the door a bit, still leave a bit of room, and we've got through. And I think I'm actually going to just let you watch these next 2 laps or fast forward them, because nothing really happens here. There is still a bit of a battle at the end of the race, but this next couple of laps I'm just trying to keep my head down, trying to keep the momentum. A bit tricky now, because now you're in that space where there's no one in front of you to motivate you. You are in dead man's land, no man's land, and it can be tricky to keep your motivation going, especially when your energy levels are depleting. You know the people are behind you, but you can't kind of see them, whereas for them, they've got you in front and you're, you know, a target for them, and it's obviously easier to chase a target and it's to try and get away. So this is a really tough couple of laps for me, to be fair, to try and hold on, just keep my head down, keep going, brake as late as you can still, get it turned in as fast as you can, and keep the drive going, and try not to put too much through the front wheel, because we haven't got a great suspension set up at the front. And what have we got now? We're going to do, this is the penultimate lap, I think, or maybe, yeah, something like that. Just trying to keep going until we get to the last lap, and the last lap is going to be a big lap for us, so we'll have a look at that in a minute when it comes round. go. We're just starting the last lap of the race. Good old white face. She's on the pit wall. She's been with us this weekend, and it's been mega having her help. She's done the pit board for me all race, which has really made a difference. And this is the last lap. So I've had a good race. I've really moved well through the field. Hopefully I've set a good lap time at some point. I just want to hold this space so I get points, and I don't know what's behind me. I think I'm about 0.9 ahead over the lap, maybe a half, but my motivation is definitely dropping. I don't have anything to motivate me in front. I am fatigued, and I've got a bit of an issue with the front just chattering away there, so I don't want to drop it. Here we go. Well, this is, if I had this view, I would know what's going on. These guys are right behind me. And this is David. He's going to use mega drive on the R1. There is straight underneath me on that short straight there. Doesn't give me much opportunity to get back to him, especially as he then does mega well, because I'm having a look underneath, which is then going to tighten my exit. He's got a good exit, and look, he's just pulling away from me. Mega move by him, to be fair. He's gone defensive. I'm going to look around the outside, and then I'm thinking, oh no, I'll have a look on the inside. He's gone to the outside. Now I've got to be tight here. He's outbroken himself, run over the edge of the track. Now he's facing the wrong way. If I'd have ridden my normal line, I might have got him on the line. Big might. But that was our race, and it set us up for the final race of the weekend, which will be a banger.